So where we stopped was on the 10 immoral, and now we will look into why this immoral, which it's good to know. It is there in uh, DN 26, which is Chakkavatti Sutta. Okay, so we need to know why we do certain things and why we have created it as a habit. Then we have to break the habit. It's all about making habit and breaking habit. There's nothing uh, extraordinary about anything. We have made certain habits, so we break those habits by creating new habits. So kusala is a new habit, akusala is an old habit. So you replace the old habit by the new habit. And then when we do that, the mind becomes calm, peaceful, and agitation, or rather, the suffering starts to reduce. So let's run through this whole thing, what we looked into about the 10 immoral deeds. So the first thing when you come to the Dhamma is to remove the 10 immoral deeds. And these 10 immoral deeds can be broken down into two parts. You can have 5 precepts to begin with, then you can have 8 precepts like that. But objective here is to remove 10 immoral deeds. Second thing you need to know is that there is nothing like somebody gives you the precepts. It's not a tradition. It's nothing like somebody gives you and you take it and you do something about it. It's about knowing why you should do it, because there is consequences of that. So let's first understand in a proper perspective so that we can work out. After doing this, we have to remove the hindrances. After we remove the hindrances, we have to establish sampajañña, clearly knowing the intention, what we have, and then we create a state where we are contented, and then we are ready for samadhi. Okay. Now I will also let you know the sutta reference, but for now, just understand this much. So the first sutta, or rather, I'll not go through the entire sutta. You can do it by yourself. It is DN 26, which talks about Chakkavatti Sutta, where all the immoral has started. So the circle of life, how it has started is that one, everyone is rich, everyone has everything. So there is nothing that which is not there. So when you find that there is nothing missing, so there is no immoral, because everyone exactly has the same thing. So there's nothing to compare, nothing to compete, nothing to be compulsive, nothing about doing something and finding that I'm doing this, he's doing that. Okay? But slowly, that scene changes, and you can go through it and see why that thing changed. And then when it changed, poverty started. Okay. The reason for immoral deeds, the cause and effect. The cause is there is rich, there is poor. Okay, the first division you can see is somebody is rich, somebody is poor. Somebody has, somebody doesn't have. Somebody looks good, somebody doesn't look good. Somebody is healthy, somebody is not healthy, etc. So there are two divisions. Even today, you can find the same division. Somebody is healthy, somebody is not healthy. So you'll come up with theories which says that you should eat this, you should do that, blah, blah, all that to remain healthy. But they don't understand there are different things than just eating and doing all of that. Anyway, coming back to the subject. So first creates division. When there is division, you don't want to be in the other division. You want to be in the good division. But division is division. So there is good and bad. Okay. So when there is poverty, obviously somebody will steal because now he can't resist taking things that are not given. So this is the first thing which happens. And we do it in our organizations, we do it in our work, we can do it in our homes, we can do it in families. All of that is that. Let's say brothers, one will try to take over the property of the other. Brothers and sisters can be neighbors, can be whatever. Okay? That's natural because I can see I don't have, but somebody has. Okay? And everybody wants to have everything. You will not find anyone who would say that I don't want anything. Okay, so the basic thing is I want. I can see something else is there. So I need to strive to get it. Yeah. And I have strived, I didn't get it. So I steal. So because of stealing, there's a way to end the stealing. Is you have to punish. So either you punish or you put it to the government or king or whatever that is, and then they punish. And when you want to punish, you want the maximum punishment, right? And then when you want to do that, it's death. So the first time, death by cutting the throat or the neck comes into existence. And when that comes, people see that even I need to do it. So then the armed robberies and armed dacoity, etc., will start. So now they're armed and they can do whatever they want. And with that comes lying. Because when I'm caught, earlier I was saying I did it. Now I say I didn't do it. Okay. And because I'm lying and somebody is going to tell about me to someone to gain money, or earlier there should be gold coins or whatever it is, and now I become an informer, which is actually called as a whistleblower. So I will blow the whistle. So I will be congratulated and some money or some power or something will come. So I'll be compensated for whistleblowing. Okay, so slander. I will try to break and get myself the share of profit. And for the very first time, profit and loss comes into existence. And when profit and loss comes into existence, it should turn itself into fame and defame. I want to be in fame, and then there is defame. So I want to defame someone so that I get the fame. And when I get the fame and defame, then I should get appreciation, depreciation. I want to be appreciated because I am in sukha, meaning happiness. Happiness is caused by being in profit. And because I'm in profit, I always would like to have fame. And because if I have a name, I get a fame, I feel that's appreciation. So then I am happy. So this is how I now get my mind transformed. This is the Lokiya Dhamma. Okay, why it happened? Because of stealing, killing, lying, slander. Okay, so this is basically created. It's unreal, it's unrealistic, it's superficial, but yet you will be trained to believe this is why you are here. Okay. Now, when that happens, when I slander, turns itself into sexual misconduct because some are good looking, some are bad looking. So I feel I should possess her because that is happiness. Possessing him or her with good money or good looks or whatever is profitable. So there is profit. And when this profit, I get the fame. When I get the fame, I'll be appreciated. When I'm appreciated, I am happy. So sexual misconduct happens. And those who cannot get sexual misconduct can pay and use the service. And then the prostitution starts. Then you use the prostitution to fix dealings. So all of these immoral characters will flourish. And when they start flourishing, when caught, turns into harsh speech. And I feel harsh speech is fine. Because that's how I can get my things done. Yep. So harsh speech comes. And then how do I spend time? Idle chatter. So, and then the concept of friendly gathering starts. So you gather and you talk something. And the nonsense is called as good and sense is called as bad. Being a talkative person is appreciated. Being a reserved person is treated bad. Okay. Being funny is treated good. Being serious is treated bad. Okay. Being reserved is treated bad. Being go-getter is treated as good. Being intelligent is treated bad. Being subversive, getting things done, manipulative is considered good. Okay. So ultimate aim is to end up with michaditti. For that, you need to have covetousness to get something which you don't have. Because that's a motivation. I don't have this, so I need it. I don't have this, I need it. I don't have this, I need it. And when I don't get it, turns itself into vyapada, ill will. Because I need it, I'm not getting it. So something I need to do to get it. Okay. So basically, these are 9 of them out of 10, and ultimately ends up with wrong view. The first wrong view is natti dinam, no point in giving, natti itam, no point in sacrificing, atti hutam, no point in offering, like that. Why? Because I should get in this life, and there is nothing more I need to aspire. So get it in whichever way possible. Okay? And then the lifespan starts to dwindle, come down. So from 80,000 comes to 60, 60 to 40, 40 to 20, 20 to 10, 10 to 5, 5 to 2.5, 2.5 to 1,000 to 500 to 300, 200 to 50 to 30 and to 10. We are now presently in 100 at the max because we have medicine to make the body stay, but the person is already dead. He's spending more time in the hospital. He doesn't have a good life, but he's alive. Okay. So the first 30 years is a waste, and the last 30 years is a waste. So you lose 60 years out, and then you have 40 years, and 20 years goes in family. So what you get is only 20 years. So basically, you're living only for 20 years. And that's all what you have. And if I think I have 100, maybe I'm mistaken because I have not looked into the diseases. And since there is a lot of manipulation in food, adulteration, all of that is manipulation for profit. A profit comes into existence when you slander. So the person who is doing business slanders, cuts off the other person to show that he is good. They deceptively use words, phrases like organic. And when they put organic, you go and think it is organic. And nobody knows what is organic. The simple thing I'm telling you, what's organic? What is inorganic? There's organic chemistry and inorganic chemistry. Organic means carbon. Inorganic means that doesn't have carbon. What are you talking about? Stupidity. It's chemistry. It's chemicals. Everything is made out of chemicals. It's either organic or it is inorganic. That's all what it is. But in my opinion, organic means no fertilizers, which looks stupid. Fertilizer or a no fertilizer is dependent on the soil. So you can deceive by putting something. So the deception rules. Okay. Like you can put 100% placements and put a star there. Conditions apply. What conditions? If you have a condition, how can you say 100% placements? It's unconditioned, right? Okay. You take a car, especially in India, 21 fuel, 21 kilometers per liter, put a star under test conditions. What does that mean? Every person knows driving in India, you will not get more than 10 kilometers per liter. Even if you get 10, it is more because there is no road to drive. What are you driving? Bullock cart, basically without bullocks. So how does it matter whether it gives you 21 or 51? Because you are changing gears, you are changing, the transmission is not happening properly, the fuel is getting wasted. So what are you saying? It's deceptive. And I go and buy it because it is a picture, right? And even I don't get it, byapad. So I'll go and throw it at the dealer saying that you said 21, it is not coming 21. And he would show star under test conditions. So where was this engine tested? In Sweden. And where it is assembled? In India. Will you give 21 kilometers per liter? In Sweden, you can. But these roads are not Swedish roads. They are horrible roads. In fact, there is no road. You can take your car, maybe you can carry it on your head, if possible. And you can think you're driving. Only two things. Because you can get a cow in between, you can get a calf and a cow, you can get a horse, you can get a donkey, you can get a camel also in Bangalore, then you can get leopards on the road, then you can get chickens, you can get goat, you can get sheep, you can get humans who walk on the road, then you can get others passing by on the opposite side with blaring lights, that as though you are done a mistake by coming on this road. And while you think that is sufficient, then you can get a huge cow sitting in front of it, front of your vehicle. You can't move. And there would be people who will come out of the car and then take the urine of that cow and put it on their head or in their mouth or wherever they find their orifice. They put wherever it goes. And after all of this, if you can reach, great. So, if that being the case, whom is he saying it gives 21 kilometers? So, obviously, he has to put under test conditions. Okay, it is fake. So, this is how immorality will flourish. Okay, if your objective is to go back to Abhasara or to Subhankina or Vehapala, you should stop immoral. As a first section, irrespective of whether you can watch breath and not able to watch breath, etc., etc. And the stupidity here is that I think just by closing my eyes and sitting on a cushion, spending hours together is meditation. It's not. You'll be shocked when I take to the next section with Sutta reference, where what Buddha says, not what somebody says. Okay. And there is nothing called as closed eyes meditation. And in fact, you are not meditating, you are in awareness. There is no thing called as meditation in Buddha teaching, it is bhavana. And the closest word for bhavana is meditation. And in bhavana, you have to have like indriya bhavana. So there's that one. It's not about closing your eyes and sitting endlessly. Because it should work when I'm not closing eyes also, which rarely happens. So I'm not saying that you should not close your eyes or you should close your eyes. It's up to you. You decide. But the fact of the matter is it's not closed eyes. It's being in awareness all the hours, including sleep, except for the deep sleep period. You are in that. Okay. Now we completed immoral deeds. Any questions before we go to the next section, which is Indriya Sambara? And along with that, we are going to look at hindrances. Any questions, anyone, before I start that next section? We are done with 10 immoral deeds, and this one you have to do it all the time, looking at the consequences. So set a goal that you want to be in Brahma, Abhasara, Subhankina, Vehapala. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana. And once you decide that this is where I need to be, make an adhitthana, not 1 hour sitting on a couch or on a sofa or on a cushion or something like that. It's where you want to be. Okay. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, you don't have to believe me, rely on me. Open up MN 120. Okay. And exactly do what he says there. You will reach wherever you want. Okay. With MN6, that's what we have taken. We have taken MN6, MN went 120, and for getting the entire thing out, we have taken MN53, which is Sekka Sutta. Okay. Again, I repeat what we are doing. To know that in 10 immoral deeds, how it appeared, go to DN26. Read it thoroughly. Understand it. That's where you were. before this whole dirt came and landed. Okay? For why you should do something, it's MN53, Sekha, trainee. Sotapanna is also a trainee, Sakadagami is also a trainee, Anagami is also a trainee. So till we reach Arhat, we are Sekha. There are only two things in Buddha Dhamma, Asekha, Sekha. So we have taken MN53, Sekha Sutta. And we are going to complete all of that, what is mentioned there. Okay. Then we come into MN6. That's a very key thing to cross check how we are doing. So we are doing Sila, then we come to Samatha, then we do Jhana, then we do Vipassana, then we do Shunyagara. 5 of them. These 5 of them, when you do it, there are stages, states, which you will get, which is there in MN 120. Okay. Now, when I take that, I get to see myself whether I have reached Sotapatti Phala, Sakadagami Phala, Anagami Phala, Arhat Phala. Yeah. And when I come into the Vipassana and Jhana, we will take some other suttas to make it, to know how you are a Sotapanna, how you are a Sakadagami, how you are an Anagami, Arhat. But for now, we are going with these. So my question again, anyone have any questions before we move forward? So the sutta, what I am again informing you, I'll just share my screen so that you know MN 120 what it does for you. Says, I will teach you rebirth by choice. This is the sutta, Sankhara Upapatti Sutta. Okay, and it tells you how you should do it. So he says, Saddhaya samannagata hoti, silena samannagata hoti, sutena samannagata hoti, chagena samannagata hoti, panyaya samannagata hoti, tassa evam hoti, aho vatam kaya sabheda param marana, khattiya mahasalanam sahabhyam, sahabhyayatam upapajjayanti. It means that at the time of death, as I'm now dying, I make a wish. May I be reborn in Khattiya, aristocrats, like king or whatever. So I'll be reborn in that. Not the way the Tibetan Lama does these days of doing some ritual and thinking that that being will go from here to there to there to there to there in 49 days. That's not how it is. It's like this. So you require 5 things. One is you have Saddha, faith, Sila, morality, Chaga, giving up, Sutta, having the Dhamma knowledge, and Panya, wisdom. So you can be born in each of these. So basically, we will be looking at all of this, whether you're getting it or not. If you are done with this, no questions, I'll go to the next section. I'm done with 10 immoral deeds. The next section is applying Samadhi on Sila. Okay. Questions? No questions. 2 things. To apply Samadhi on Sila, you require two aspects. One is yoniso-manasikara, and then you require sampajañña. Okay. Now, coming into the section of yoniso-manasikara, first we need to know what is manasikara. Manasikara is making up, determining, or rather decision making, which happens in the mind. Manasi, mana means mind, kara is to do. So doing in the mind. That means you decide in the mind. Yoniso means not through proper discernment. Yoniso means proper discernment, which means what should be done and what should not be done, what it leads to and what does it not lead to. That becomes manasikara, yoniso. Is this good or bad? Will it lead to liberation or doesn't lead to liberation? Is yoniso-manasikara. Ayoniso-manasikara is what leads to bondage, you think it is liberating, and what gives you liberation, you think it's a bondage. Like property and house and everything, family, etc. They are bondage, they are not liberation. But in my mind, I think it's the best thing I can have. That's ayoniso-manasikara, because that's dukkha. Okay. So not aware of the dukkha is ayoniso. Knowing of dukkha is ayoniso, is yoniso. It is not knowing it is ayoniso and knowing it is yoniso. So it runs in 4 stages, which you need to learn through suttas, but I have condensed it, looked into it. You can also search it from ChatGPT, it will give you the same kind of result. The first one is that tithi. Tithi means state. There are many suttas on that. What chitta? The best sutta is the Satipatthana Sutta. There are 12 states of chitta. Saragam vachittam, sadosam vachittam, samoham vachittam, vitaragam vachittam, vitadosam vachittam, vitamoham vachittam. Then you have sankittam, chittam, vikittam, chittam, like that. Okay, there are 12 of them. All of that is a chitta tithi, state of mind. So I, yoniso-manasikara, know that at this moment I have raga. The moment raga comes, vikshepa happens. In Sanskrit, vikshepa, and in Pali, it's vikshepa. English, scatteredness. That's also there in the same Satipatthana Sutta. Now, as soon as the vikshepa happens, the ekagata is not there. So, piti is gone, sukha is gone, ekagata is gone. It's replaced by vitakka vichara all the time. So the sati is lost. So now I know I am in, the mind is, chitta is in ayoniso-manasikara. So the 10 immoral deeds have taken over. That means the sila is not strong. It will not allow me to get into yoniso. Simple. This is the second step. After looking at the 10 immoral deeds, this is the second step, very important step, which you might not know it, even though Buddha says yoniso-manasikara, yoniso-manasikara. And even in the Mulaka Sutta, he says, Chanda Mulaka Avuso Sabbe Dhamma. Have interest. Manasikara Sambhava Sabbe Dhamma. All Dhammas, good or bad, it doesn't matter. All Dhamma happens in Manasikara. Manasikara Sambhava Sabbe Dhamma. is possible through manasikara. Then some people think, some traditions think that, or they say that they only recite one thing, Vedana Samo Sarana Sabbe Dhamma, which doesn't make sense because they have lost the plot, because it is phassa. Phassa, without contact, there can't be any feeling. So, phassa, after samudaya, meaning if there is a samudaya, it should through phassa. If it is arise, it has to be having some contact with something. Without any contact with anything, how can you get feeling? It's absurd. So we need to know that the phassa happens because of manasikara. If it is yoniso-manasikara, then the phassa happens. If there is yoniso-manasikara, there is no phassa which is happening. So I need to have my interest in looking at how the contact happens, contact with the senses. Very clear. Okay. And then the Vedana Samo Sarva Sabbe Dhamma. Now that goes in circles, that's agreed, but it's phassa. And for phassa, there should be manasikara. For manasikara, the mula root is interest. If I have interest over the objects and subject-object connection, then there is experience. So now I have yoniso-manasikara because I'm able to see this four things. I have an interest, wrong interest, but fine, it's interest. Then I have a yoniso-manasikara, like I am in love with my wife, or love with my son or daughter or whatever it is, or love with money, or love with possessions, love with house, or whatever it is, love with country or state or what, language, customs, tradition, whatever that is going to be, because I'm having interest, so I have love for that. And when I have love for that, the contact happens. When the contact happens, there is feeling. I can do the other way around. And when there is a feeling of happiness, or rather pleasantness, or unpleasantness, or neutral, depending upon that, my decision is going to take place. And that's a decision making. Okay. So when I decide, since I have these things, I will go by immoral, cannot be moral. So then I might slander, I might do this, I might do that, and so many things I might do it. I have no control over it. The vitakka vichara has taken over. Now nothing I can do about it. Okay. Now I have only three choices. Either I have to believe that God will help me, then I have to think that only karma is doing this, or I can think that it is ahituka, random. I don't know how to do it. Because I am in yoniso-manasikara. So first one is chitta titi, state of the mind. Second one is vikepa. Before vikepa happens, the ekagata is gone. The mind able to collect itself is gone, is scatteredness. So the result is vikepa, and sati is gone. Okay. For sati to work, I need to work on 10 immoral. So the energy where I should virya, I should put is in removing immoral deeds, not about watching the breath, not about setting 1 hour a timer, or coming up with some crazy apps which will show me how I'm watching the breath. And for my own benefit, I have to do these four. 1, walk. 2, stand. 3, sleep. 4, sit. How I have been doing sit and sit and sit and sit and sit and sit and add it up and say, I've sat for so many hours. Excellent. Maybe if we have a reward and award, we can give best constipating person award goes to so and so. But in Chankama Sutta, Buddha says, walk. For samadhi, it's walk. Then you stand. Then you sleep. Then you sit. And you divide how you want in 18 hours or 20 hours. Sleep is not sleep, is lying down. It's not sleep. So let me use a proper word, lying down. Just lie down and observe. It's much better. So walk, stand, lie down, sit. See, if I 18 hours divided by 4, right? 4 postures. Equally do it. Not saying you should not sit. Sit, stand, walk, lie down. Clear. And when you get up, don't sit, walk. Because it's already inertia. When you wake up, when you sleep, and when you wake up, there's already inertia. Thinamida is there. So just don't sit. After you get up, I want to meditate, so let me sit. No. It's not good. So do that. How much should you walk? It's nothing like that. You should be on breath. It's not posture is important. Being on the breath is important. Why breath? Now I'm coming to this section. Why breath? Because it's neutral. And main reason, with breath coming, you are alive. With breath going, you are dead. The first breath is when you are alive. The last breath, when it's gone. So the Ayu is measured by breath. So isn't it that I need to know as humans beyond the breath? Because it shows the Ayu. Ayu means lifespan. So that's an important thing. Okay. So yoniso-manasikara has to be applied on breath. Now we come to sampajañña. This is the most, what I can say, so many ways of interpreted, so many distorted, so many things. But I don't blame those who have translated it and distorted it, because there are 3 terms which makes things very confusing. Janana. And unless you're an Indian, having word in your vocabulary, it becomes difficult. Janana means to know. Okay? Pajanana is to completely know. And sampajañña is to live by it. Okay. Now, come to the first section. What is janana? To know. What is to know? Knowing that what is bondage and what is liberation. Simple. If I say I know this is bondage and this is liberation. I know. At present, I am not experienced, but I know. Pajanati is to completely know. And there is a important word, pa. in Pali, which we can take some other day after I finish this, because etymology, I would like to do that for pa. But at present, till we finish this portion, because that's not that important of etymology, let's take pajanati, pajanana, is to completely know. Completely know what the mind is doing. Okay? Charana nama chitta. Chara is to move. Charana is fully moving. Charana nama chitta, the mind which is fully moving. So it's a moving images. So just watch it. That's what Buddha says in Dutiya Baddha Gaddula Sutta. And that knowing that this mind is moving towards there is pajanana. Okay, this is the second one. The first is to know what is to be done and what should not be done. Second is to know where the mind is moving. And this is now comes to the third one, what we are talking, is sampajana. In fact, Bobby asked me this question, from where did you get these four things which I had shared? That is sataka sampajanana, sapaya sampajanana, gochara sampajanana, asammoha sampajanana. It is there in Visuddhi Magga and also there in other commentaries. In Attakatha also it is there. If somebody has seen kathas, katha means commentary, there are some interesting explanation, but it is there in the sutta. It's there. It's 100% there. So sataka sampajanana is what is sataka? What's the purpose? And the best purpose, especially for Bobby, is MN53. Why the hell are you doing this? Is to become a sekkha. That's the purpose. There's no other purpose. First thing. So I need to do the 15 charana dhammas. No exception. It's not about saying itipiso bhagavaram samma sambuddho vidya charana sampanno like that, which makes no sense actually. It's just recitation and saying sadhu, 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 and get out from that place. And some person sitting there will say, I'll give you 5 precepts, as though he's giving you a gift. Who is he to give you 5 precepts? You're supposed to do it. He cannot give you. It's not a gifting session to give something. It's stupidity. Anyway, now that I've understood it is stupidity, I need to have a purpose. The purpose of this slide is to attain 15 charana dhammas. That's it. That is, I first have to make sure my purpose, the sampajañña, sataka sampajañña, is to achieve 15 charana dhammas, starting with sila, indriya samvara, bhojana matyanutta, jagariyana yoga, saddha, hiri, vattappa, bahusutta, sati, panya, patama jhana, dutiya jhana, tatitya jhana, chatutta jhana. Definitely, I should achieve sataka. 15, vidya charana sampanno, talking about charana. Chara is to walk, move. Charana is moving Dhamma. So I move with Dhamma. So the purpose of doing a retreat is not to take a cushion. The purpose of a retreat is to gain 15 charana dhammas. Simple. There's no other purpose. Okay. Then I come to the next section, which talks about sapaya sampajanana. Now this question comes, where do we get this sapaya? like what Bobby was asking me yesterday. So I sent him a list of suttas because Bobby asked for it, but I thought it's good for others to also know. Now, this is what is sapaya. This is there in Sanyukta Nikaya, Jhanavagga 34.55. So, what is conductive? Please do as per this sutta for your own benefit. So, I'll draw your attention towards this. Now, there are four kinds of meditators. But unfortunately, you see that Jhai is indicated as a meditator, and Jhai is not meditator at all. It's actually what they have put here is correct, burned. So you burn the defilements. It's not about sitting and meditating as in closing the eyes and sitting on a nice cushion with some props towards your knees and one more prop towards your bum and many other props everywhere and sitting. Okay. Anyway, idha pana bhikkave ekecho jhai samadhismim sappayakari hoti na samadhismim satachakari. Okay. So there's a difference between satak, which I'm going to be doing it now, and sapaya. Okay. It is sarthaka. Sataka is sarthaka. So now Bobby was asking me, where did you find this sataka? Sarthaka is here. And sapaya is also here. Both are here. Nowhere to run. Okay. Bobby, hope you got the answer. From where did I find this in which sutta? Anyway, coming to this, sataka is satachakari. He's a person who does this. One, he's consistent. Sataka. 15 Charana Dhammas is consistent. Because first you should be sataka to achieve samadhi. Okay. Then doesn't do it occasionally. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening is occasionally. The remaining time, God only knows. And then continues the training all the time. Who says so? Bahulikita. That means you do it all the time. Again and again. Otherwise, it will not stick. So what he's saying is idapana bhikkave ekacho jhai samadhismim sappayakari hoti na samadhismim satakachakari. That means he doesn't do with purpose, but he is doing sapaya, what is fruitful, beneficial. Okay. Purposeful is one, fruitful is another one. Can be fruitful, but he doesn't know the purpose. And another person is neva samadhismim sataka sata satachakari hoti nacha samadhismim sappayakari. He doesn't do both. Another meditator does both. Of these meditators, skilled in practicing persistently for immersion, doing what's conductive to the foremost, best, leading, highest, and the finest of the four. So this is what you need to do. So sampajañña includes four: sataka, sapaya, gochara, asammoha. So for the first two, thanks to Bobby that he has asked this question. I think maybe for him or for the benefit of people sitting here, but whatever it can be, it is good that you need to know it is there in one sutta of these two. And the only purpose of this life is to get out of this existence. No second thoughts. So the minimum you're looking at is anagami. You should put like that. Not about which tradition you belong to or what retreat you have done it. Leave it. You should achieve this. That becomes sapaya. So when we say sapaya, what is suitable, what is conducive, what it will lead to, sapaya. So the difference between the satachakari and sapaya is the purpose is known, sataka. So I do continuous effort with a sapaya suitable in conduct, is body, speech, and mind. But that is sapaya, suitable. So I will not do immoral deeds. That is sapaya. The focus is on, first one is on persistence. I persist. Bhavita bahulikata. Right? That is the purpose. Why? Sila. It's continuous. It's not a cushion job. Indriya samvara is not a cushion job. Bhojane matyanutta is not a cushion job. Jagariyana yoga is not a cushion job. Saddha is not a cushion job. Okay? Shiri is not a cushion job. Vattappa is not a cushion job. Virya is not a cushion job. Okay. Bahusutta is not a cushion job. Then sati is not a cushion job. Panya cannot be got through cushion. So throw the cushion. Simple. So can I take a towel then? No. It's not how much you sit. It's how much you penetrate. Jhaya. How much will you burn? The defilement. Its defilement's ending is vimukti. It's not how much did I sit. I sat for 10 hours. Super. Wow, wow, great. Even a statue sits for 365 days. It'll be there only. No problem. I think we should congratulate a statue. Better. That's not main important. The main important is, did I do these 15 charanadhammas? So none of them requires a cushion. So it requires postures. Pajanati, to know. Okay? To know clearly. Janana is to know. Pajanana is clearly knowing what's happening. When I stand, what's happening. When I'm sitting, what's happening. When I'm walking, what's happening. When I'm lying down, what's happening. What do you mean? The posture is changing. In the changing posture, the length and the breadth of the human being changes. I'm sitting, so the body is small. Standing, the body is long. So short and long can be seen, vajana. When you lie down, when the body is lying down, you are not lying down, the body is lying down. You can see a difference. It lies down. When it's walking, so there is no I, it's just a process. And that is what gives you panya. It's not the cushion which gives you panya. Anyway, the way of doing it is to know the yoniso-manasikara on one side. Don't forget the yoniso-manasikara. That's a mistake if you don't have. And then come to the sampajañña. Then the third one in that sampajañña group is gochara. This is where indriyas come into existence. Indriya gochara. Now, a beautiful stanza which I would like to recite for those people who think satim upattapetva. Okay, what it means. Parimukham. What is parimukha? Can anybody say what is parimukha? Because you've been hearing that.
It seems like in front of your mouth or face. That's
Parimukha. Mukha is face. In front of your face. Bring the awareness in front of the face. Okay. And what does the face consist of?
Seems to be all senses.
Exactly. Not seems. It is.
Yeah, it is.
So supposing if you want to guard the senses, you should bring to the front and watch. Stabilize the breath so that objects appear and disappear, arising, ceasing. Udaya, vyaya. The eyes are there, sight comes, stays, goes. Sound comes, stays, goes. Taste comes, stays, goes. That. So now I sit, maybe in the same posture, lower my gaze. There is a sutta for lowering the gaze so that you don't get distracted, not closing eyes. Lowering the gaze. Just lower the gaze, not making like this. Just lower the gaze so that I don't have to watch people sitting here and their faces or whatever. I lower the gaze. Then I bring attention to the breath because breath controls five senses. Because for all the five senses, breath is required. When the breathing goes somewhere in some object, I need that object back. In fact, I met my wife because she took my breath. So I brought her here because my heart went for her. All those, whatever we say, is basically the breath has gone. And there are songs written on that also. Why? Because in reality, the breath goes away, the breath goes away to something. So to cut that, parimukham upettapetva, establishing. So I will establish. So Aranyagato va, rukkamulagato va, sunyagaragato va, nisidate pallankam abhujitva, ujum kayam panidhaya, parimukam satim upattapetva. Aranyagato va is two meanings there, but I will take the literal meaning, going to the forest. Rukkamula gatova, to the root of the tree, or shunyagara gatova is empty dwelling. Yeah, that's what he said. Okay, but actual meaning is not that. Aranyagatova is secluding yourself from the situation. If there are a lot of things happening, get out of it. It's there in Shunyagara, sorry, in Chula Shunyata Sutta anyway. MN 122. So you can go there and see how Buddha asked you to meditate. So the problem, somebody has put on the TV in my living room, let's say, and that is distracting. I come into this room, close the door, and sit. That becomes aranyagatova. And if you don't believe my words, you can go to Jhana Vibhanga Sutta or Jhana Vibhanga in Vibhanga section of Abhidhamma. There you can find for each one of these meanings. Okay. Aranyagatova, he says, outside your home, outside your kuti, or outside the city. Meaning earlier people used to have a home or a kuti and you go out of that. If there are a lot of noises, go out. Don't stay there. Let us say somebody in the next building here, they are going to drill. If you can't tolerate it, it's very loud and irritating. Aranyagatova. Rukkamulagatova. Actually, it is root cause analysis. It's not sitting under a tree as physical tree or a bodhi tree or some tree. Just looking at root cause of your problem. What's the root cause? Why am I getting disturbed? What's the cause of my suffering? That's root cause. Shunyagaragatova. This is a beautiful thing which has got totally spoiled. Shunya, actually in the Maha Vedala Sutta, there's an explanation for this. I don't know why people don't realize. It's Shunya of Raga Dvesha Moha. And Shunyagara is nothing but removing Raga Dvesha Moha on that particular object. Okay? And that's a meditation, jhaya, I'm supposed to be doing. So I empty the mind from whatever I'm carrying. So I can be sitting on this chair, but I empty the mind of its contents. So then, pallankam abhujitva, bhuja, shoulder. Pallanka is cross-legged. Ujum, straightening, because the energy is going to move up. So you don't sit like this. It's straight. Parimukham satim upettapetva, establishing sati in the front. It's got nothing to do with closing eyes and the nostril or whatever. And when you lower your gaze, automatically you can watch the breath because there's no distraction. Another way of doing it, if you don't believe my words, look at a blank object or your wall. Just keep on watching it. You'll start to see the breath. You don't have to put effort to watch the breath. Okay. So what is mentioned is about the posture. Body should be erect. Sati should be established. Awareness should be established. So there's nothing about chakkum. Have you seen anywhere chakku? Chakku means eye. Of that. So it is false. So what they should have given? Chakku, yeah, akha. Akha is also eyes. Vidhaya is to close. Chakkum pidhaya nisidati pallankam abhujitva. Closing the eyes and sitting, what they should have given there, or what Buddha should have told is, aranyagato va, rukkamulagato va, shunyagara va, akhini pidhaya nisidati pallankam abhujitva. Unfortunately, akhim, chakum, vidhaya is not there. So there's nothing of closing eyes. You want to take it, take it. Don't want to take it, it's up to you. That's a Pali word, by the way, vidhaya. So whoever has done doctorate in Pali can please. There are many people in our group who have done doctorate in Pali, so they might know. Okay, so it's up to you whether you want to close your eyes or not. I just want to give you clarity that it's sampajañña. It's not whether you want to close your eyes or open your eyes, immaterial. It's being in sampajañña. So when I'm meditating, when I say I'm meditating jhaya, I'm doing the bhavana, bhavana, bhava, to become, to stay. Bhavana is a way to stay, staying with awareness, purpose, suitability, gochara, meaning controlling the senses from going outward through breath, then to achieve asammoha. What is asammoha and what is moha? Moha is not knowing the nature of thing. The nature of thing is anicca, dukkha, anatta. Asammoha is to know that it is anicca, dukkha, anatta. And by doing that, you get the five khandhas. You will be able to see all the five khandhas clearly. And when you're able to see all the five khandhas clearly, you get into fruition, which is you have the spiritual friend, which is called Kalyanamitta, Sappurisa Samsevo. Now what we are doing is Saddhamma Savana. And what you are going to do yourself is yoniso-manasikara. Then what you do is implement it, Dhammanu Dhamma Patipatti. And you know for yourself that this is how it is. This is what you're supposed to do. So when you do it, you get Sotapatti Phala. And you're done. Okay. Now we can ask this question. There many people in our group have done, they might have done because they have done earlier. I'm going step by step. So don't worry about who have done, who have not done. Is it correct? It's not, or whatever it is. Just go by steps. First is 10 immoral deeds. Second one, we came into how to establish. So we came into the yoniso-manasikara and sampajañña. So I took the jhana vagga to show you it is there. Sataka, and sapaya. Gochara, you should do the indriya samvara anyway. It's gochara. Then asammoha. You get to know what is real, what is unreal. The moha reducing, you can see anicca dukkha anatta. And that leads to 5 khandhas. That's it, I think, for today. So we started on this. So tomorrow we are going to start samatha. And you should do it for the whole day. And today also you should look at the 10 immoral deeds and look at what leads to liberation, what leads to bondage, what leads to liberation, what leads to bondage. Where it is written like this, Dveda Vitaka Sutta. Simple. 2 kinds of thoughts. So if somebody feels that you have to close your eyes, ask this question. Vidhaya is there. Akha is there. So let me go to suttacentral.net and search for Pidhaya. Whereas this Pidhaya is not there. Okay. Whereas the other one is there. How to lower your eyes. There's sutta for that. Let me open it for you. Give me a minute. I will show you. Okay, I found the sutta. It is in Sariputta Sutta, SNP 4.16. We had done this earlier, but now it is good to do that. It is the verse number 17. Okkita chakku nacha padadolo jhana anuyutto bahu jagarasa upekha marabha samahitatto takka sayam kukkuchi yu pachinde. Okkita chakku, lowering the gaze. Nacha pada lolo, Pada legs should not go above the leg. Jhana anuyutto bahujagaras. For you not sleeping, jagara, shouldn't close your eyes. Okay? Upekha manarabha samahitatto. Upekha marabha. Arabha is to begin. Upekha will come. Samahitatto. Takha sayam kukuchi yupachinde. Takka sayam. Tarka. Debate. Takka sayam. When you debate, you get agitation. Kukucha. Doubt. Upachinde. Upachinde means chindana, cut, cutting both agitation and doubt. So, what he should do? Lower the gaze, and after that, automatically the breath takes over. Don't close your eyes. Keep lower the gaze and do it. It's not there. If anybody is interested, go on ChatGPT and type out Pidhaya. Translate Pidhaya. Give it. Harry, please do it. Or whatever GPTs you have. Whatever AI tool. Pidhaya. Pidhaya. Vidhaya. A and accent on top. Got it?
Closing.
What does it say? Just give Pidhaya, it will say closed.
Yeah.
Akha. Type out Akha. It's eyes. Found it?
Found the Akki.
Akhi. Fine. He has given the plural. Two eyes, right?
Yeah, but it's not there in the sutta, right? That's your point.
It's not there in Sutta. I know that. If somebody has done graduation in Pali, would know it. And that's the reason it's not there in Sutta. It's only Chakku. So should we end? So what I did, I'll just show you what I just now did to make it much better, is that I asked ChatGPT like this: why there is no mention of Akki and Padhaya in the Sutta? Okay, so I'm reading out what ChatGPT has given so that it's easy. In the Dhamma, the Buddha consistently speaks of sense basis ayatana, not the anatomical organ. Chakuncha paticha rupecha upajati chakku vinyanam. Here the Buddha says chakku is eye faculty, not akhi, eyeball. The teaching concerns experience in cognition, not body mechanics. Thus, meditation instruction deal with the sense restraint, perception, contact, and feeling, not the physical act of shutting the eyeball. The problem is not seeing but grasping the sign. The Buddha explains the real problem clearly. Chakuncha chakkuna rupam disva na nimitta gahi hoti na anubhyanjana gahi hoti. Seeing occurs, but the practitioner does not grasp the sign or detail. So the issue is not the act of seeing itself. The issue is nimitta grasping and mental proliferation. Therefore, closing the eyes would not solve the root problem. Meditation is designed for all posture. The Buddha repeatedly emphasized mindfulness in all activities. Gacchanto va gacchamiti pajanati, thito va thitomiti pajanati, nisinno va nisinnomiti pajanati. The practitioner knows walking, standing, sitting. Since walking meditation exists, keeping eye closed cannot be the defining instructions. Guarding the sense door is real training. The Buddha instructs Indriyesu Buddha Dvara, guarding the sense doors. That means seeing occurs, hearing occurs, smelling occurs, but the mind does not chase after them. Thus, the emphasis is restraint, not sensory blocking. Breath meditation also does not require closed eyes. The canonical formula says, Parimukam satim upattapetva, having established mindfulness in front. Buddha says, so satova asasati, satova pasasati. He breathes in mindfully, breathes out mindfully. Nothing is said about the eyes. Closing the eyes appears later as a practical method. Later meditation tradition often advise closing the eyes because it reduces distraction, supports concentration, helps beginner. But this is a practical technique, not a canonical instructions. The deeper reason, the Buddha's meditation system had freedom in the middle of sensory experience, not isolating from it. If liberation depended on shutting the senses, Arhat could not function in the world. Instead, the Buddha trained the practitioner to see without craving, hear without aversion, experience without grasping. So the summary, the sutta does not mention Akini Vidhaya because the teaching focuses on sense faculties, not anatomical objects. The problem is grasping signs, not seeing itself. Mindfulness must operate in all postures and activities. Meditation trains sense restraint, not sensory shutdown. Thus, Buddha's approach is freedom while seeing, not freedom by avoiding the sight itself. Okay, so I asked this question to ChatGPT itself. And you can also ask the same question, and you should get the same answer. Yeah, the ChatGPT is enlightened, but not us. Okay, that's it for today. And tomorrow we continue on the next, which is samatha practice.